Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Locatz. Welcome to Star Nation's organization's main fan page for the daily live stream here on Facebook. Puppy George is just trying to get settled in here. Yeah, he's been a kind of a handful this morning. I have to say, boy puppies are much different than girl puppies in temperament. Yeah, he's our first male dog, and we're learning loads from him. We really are. Hey, Stephanie, welcome to the chat room and to the daily live stream for the card draw information. Today is Tuesday, terrific Tuesday, October 30th. Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh, I was just thinking, October went by so quickly, as usual. When we're busy, it flies by, right? And October, yeah, it was jam-packed because we are celebrating. Now he's barking at squirrels. We're celebrating the 5th year anniversary for the Star Nations magazine. I know, 5 years already. And we're working on issue 66. Yeah. I'm going to try to find a way to be able to show all of our covers. And I thought it'd be kind of cool if we could get our community to vote on their favorite cover. And yeah, just to see what you guys, look back at the last 5 years, right? Yeah. Hey, Rochelle, good to see you in the chat. Oh, hang on just a minute. We got company. Oh my goodness. Sorry about the interruption. It was one of the guys that does volunteer work with Paul for Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. Yeah, he was dropping off some stuff. I guess Paul was supposed to talk to him today, and they didn't actually meet up, so he dropped it off. All right, so as I was saying, the 5th year anniversary. And I thought it'd be kind of cool for you guys to be able to vote on the covers and see which ones you like the best. And it'd be a nice trip down memory lane, right? I'm going to try to figure that out. Going to maybe tap into some of those friends of mine who are more techie than I am, and to try to find out how we can best do that, right? So I had to slip George and Mickey too. I'll show you. Lavender. He was just starting to settle down when our friend knocked on the door. So, hi, Ann and Jackie. Good to see you guys in the house. Uh-oh, George, no. Oh, hang on. Okay. George likes to lay underneath the altar, and occasionally he kind of gets caught up in the fabric. In the altar cloth. He's good though. He's right under here. He's gonna lay down. Okay. Stephanie says, yeah, that work that time had to refresh twice. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, good. I was just thinking about how jam-packed October was for Star Nations, but also personally, right? And I know that you guys are doing the same stuff. And yeah, and Stephanie, I was on a call earlier this morning. It was a Facebook Messenger video call, and the person who I was talking to, it was like their screen had a strobe effect, and so they were having, I don't know if it was internet connection or if it was her laptop, I don't know, but that was like really kind of freaky. Never had that before, where their screen was flickering in and out. So I don't know. Anybody know? Maybe we're having solar flares or something. That could work, And yeah, that's interesting. We're gonna have to check on that. Maybe it's solar flares. So the card draw for today, we got different cards. I mean, we've been doing we've been doing, like, I think it was the Knight that came up multiple times, and the Shield Maiden came up multiple times. And so today, here we have the very first card is Earth Mother. Feel loved and comforted. Now, we've had this card before, but it was like maybe a couple weeks ago. Earth Mother. You know, and her clothes or covering is all leaves and the butterfly. I like, you know, that the womb, her pregnancy is the earth holding it. And of course, in the background, we have the Celtic symbol for the goddess. And I just love all those butterflies going on too. You know, butterflies, you know, the as a power animal, they're about transformation, right? Butterflies. Transformation. And I thought it was really kind of on her shoulder here. I don't know if you guys noticed that she has, it's like it's a symbol on her shoulder. It's almost like a tattoo almost. But that is the universal symbol for Newgrange in Ireland. The three spirals, right? Connected. Yeah. And I thought it was really interesting that we're, for communications at home tonight, for that live stream show, my weekly show, we're doing the Unity Breath meditation. And the Unity Breath meditation is all about love. And it's about our love for Grandmother Earth and for Grandfather Sky. And so for her to show up in the card reading this morning, I had to smile. You know, it's kind of like we're all on the same page for this one, right? Yeah. Oh, good. Oh, thank you, Rochelle. Thank you. I completely forgot about the sharing piece. Yeah. I had too many things going on. I know. Isn't it a great card, Jane? Yeah. Hi, Cindy Lynn. Yeah, those are grapes in her ears. Yeah, I had to take a double look at that too. So I'm going to quickly do this. I'm going to find our live stream and I'm going to share it. Thank you for reminding me, Rochelle. I appreciate that. I'm going to send it to my timeline and let everybody know that I'm live streaming. It doesn't take long. And love those quick keys. I say that every day, don't I? There we go. And then I'm going to share it over to the Star Nations radio closed group, radio network closed group. And yeah. And just let them know I'm live streaming. And to please join me. There we go. And make sure I get it to the right groups here. There we go. Good. And with that done, guess who fell asleep? George. George finally fell asleep. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at that picture again. Yes, Rochelle, those are grapes by her ears. Of course, in our neck of the woods here in northwestern Wisconsin, Toma, they could actually maybe be cranberries because we're the second largest, or we used to be the first largest producer of cranberries in the United States. I think Vermont may have surpassed us by now, but yeah, they could be cranberries. All right, let's find out what Kyle has to say about the Earth Mother, because on the card it says honor your inner oops, it's Medicine Mother, not Earth Mother. I tell you what, I got to get the right page number. That would be nice. 54. And it says feel loved and comforted. The message is allow yourself to be cherished. Earth Mother is protecting you with a shield of love and light. Earth Mother is protecting you with a shield of love and light. You know, I would say that Grandmother Earth's love for us is a pure love. It is an unconditional love, right? Just think about this. Two-leggeds, just the two-leggeds, we'll include all the relatives in just a second, but the two-leggeds, we've been with her for millennia, for a very, very long, long time. How old is Grandmother? Is it 65 billion years? Something like that. And two-leggeds have been around for a really long time. And so we have the special connection, right, to her. And depending on what belief system you have, that our physical bodies literally come from her. And that we resonate with her in ways that many people don't probably take for granted or they don't remember, right? And that is even our brain waves are connected to her. They are. When there's earth things called earth energies, right? And there's one earth energy, and that's called the Schumann wave. And the Schumann wave is about an earth energy that goes from the surface of the earth to about 55 feet high. And it affects our brain. We're in sync with her, with our brain waves. And when we're outside of that field, we tend to get things like jet lag. Yeah. Astronauts have had a real hard time in the early days. Literally, when they came back, they literally lost their mind, and really had to have help with getting recalibrated here. And so science found a way to replicate the Earth's energy field, the Schumann wave, and so that those astronauts, those that are living on space stations, they have that particular energy field frequency called the Schumann wave, so that they're still connected to Grandmother in an electronic way, right? And so many people don't realize what the jet lag really is. I mean, they usually attribute it to the time zone difference, right? That you're in a different time zone. Well, I suppose some of that's true, but much of that is more of a mental, aspect of the time zone. But in reality, depending on how long your flight is that it will take you out of the Schumann wave long enough for you to experience that tiredness, that loginess, that jet laggy feeling. And I'm sure most of you have had that before, that jet lag. So that is an earth energy that Grandmother Earth provides for us. And so we are connected to her very intimately. We're connected to her. Our bodies actually replicate her. Yeah. When you think about it, right? The rivers and streams, waterways are her veins, and the water is her blood, right? The swamps do exactly what our liver and kidneys are supposed to do. They do the cleaning, the cleansing, right? Yeah. So our bodies replicate her. And so we can tell, right? We can tell how much she has had to endure our not cleaning up our rooms, our house. All the garbage, that goes unpicked up, and the polluted waters, and even the polluted air. Us two-leggeds, we're the ones that are doing that. And it's kind of like My mom and I had this conversation years ago about this, and she goes, "It's like trying to get a teenager to clean up their room. You tell them to do it, you tell them to do it, you tell them to do it, and they just don't get it done." And then you think, you throw up your hands and you say, "All right, then, if that's the way you want to live, go ahead. You just close your door so I don't have to look at it." That's exactly what my mom said to my brothers. And so, yeah, and so you let that go. Well, she would only let it go for so long, and then she would go and actually clean their rooms. And then there was always this big outcry, "I can't believe you did that. You went into my room and you did that." So, we treat Grandmother Earth somewhat the same way. Hey, Mary Anderson Fry and Jackie. Hello. Good afternoon. Welcome to the live stream chat. We'll show you the card the first card that came today. That's Mother Earth. Feel loved and comforted. Yeah. I was just talking about how much our bodies are replicate Grandmother Earth, and how we're so interconnected with her. I was just thinking about the feeling loved and comforted. When we are wanting to be grounded to her, we can feel it. We can feel it when we're ungrounded, right? And if we can't feel it, our friends are going to say something to us. It's like, "Oh my God, what's up with you today? You're not grounded very well." And then they make the suggestion is, maybe you should go outside and get grounded. We can feel it. We can feel it. And sometimes you're not able to go out and take your shoes off and stand in the grass, or to go up by a tree. Sometimes you're in a place that doesn't have that. Maybe you're in a city and you have a lot of concrete. And in order to get to a place like that, it's called a park. And it might be a ways for you to be able to get there, right? We know that our mind, our brain, really can't tell the difference between being in an actual location or imagining the location, right? And so if we can find those images and feelings that go along with them, someplace that you really, really love about Grandmother Earth, someplace that you've been that was so beautiful when you were there, whether it's by, a mountain lake, or out by the ocean, or in the hills, the bluffs near the Wisconsin River, or the Mississippi River. There's places that we've been that we're just in awe of, because it's just so beautiful there. Anywhere, whether it's near your home, or maybe it's in a different country, you went to visit there and you found this place to be in nature, to be so beautiful. It's those images and the emotion that you have attached to it, that if you can bring those images to you and really be in it, really feel like what it felt like the last time you were there, what it looked like, what it smelled like, what the colors were like, what you loved about it, and feel the emotions about it. That will ground you as well. And it will actually raise your vibration, your vibration to the vibration of love. Because that is us loving Grandmother Earth, right? And so if you're feeling ungrounded, no matter where you are, hey, Julia Hedges, hello there, listening at work. Yeah, she says, hope all people are well. Well, I think I'm feeling fairly well. I'm a little tired only because I have a 3-month-old that's been very energetic. And so we have the ability to be connected and grounded to her always. It's when we have to turn our attention to her to remember to do that, right? So here is what Kyle has to say about Grandmother Earth. He says, Mother Earth is the female counterpart to Father Sky. It's auspicious to receive this card because in the eyes and heart of Grandmother Earth, you are her child. You are her child. And she is highly protective of her baby and will give you everything you need to grow and expand. She will give you everything you need to grow and expand. Mother Earth is only covered by leaves in this card, showing the vulnerability of Earth. Every day she experiences challenges that she has to adapt to and overcome. Her energy, represented by the symbol of the pagan triple goddess, Maiden Mother Crone, behind her, can help you adapt as the changes of life come your way. There we go again. Changes, huh? Yeah. And Grandmother Earth, she does provide everything for us. Literally everything. From our homes to our clothing to even some of the things that we don't think she provides for, like some of the electronics and man-made items. There's aspects of her in those, right? I mean, silicon, sand is used in glass and in electronics. Even the fossil fuel industry, right? The gas, the oil that heats our home, all come from her. So she provides so much for us. And so when we remember to be grateful and let her know that how grateful you are and how much you appreciate everything that she does for you. Because, most times we don't slow down long enough to be thoughtful, heartfelt about the things that Grandmother Earth does for us. Yeah. And sometimes, it's mind-blowing actually when we consider things that we don't necessarily consciously connect to her. And yet she is still there. She's still there. Even if it was all chemical makeup, like equal aspartame, in the chemistry, there's aspects of her in that chemistry. Yeah. Yeah, it's just mind-blowing. Cal goes on to say that you may have felt overwhelmed or out of control emotionally lately, but you are now moving back to your natural center, and that will bring you to a place of clarity and openness. If you have felt ungrounded, know that Mother Earth is here to root you and help you regain your sense of strength. You may not feel like a child, but in the eyes of the divine, you are a child of light, and it's important you know that and feel loved, that you're a divine child. For those that are in the chat, question: have you ever looked in the mirror at yourself, looked into your own eyes, and said, divine child, to yourself? Have you ever done that? If you haven't, my suggestion is to try it sometime. The first time I did this, I couldn't look myself in the eyes. And I thought, what the heck is that all about? Don't I believe I'm a divine child? Obviously not if I can't look in my own eyes when I say it. I would look everywhere but at my own eyes. And this was years ago. But that is one good exercise to do. And if you can look into your eyes in the mirror and say to yourself, or out loud even, it's even better, divine child. And notice in your physical body how that shifts your energy. how it shifts it. Yeah, Mary saying nope. And Rochelle said, I'll have to do this. Give it a try. Just see what it's like, you know. No expectations really. I mean, there's some people that will be able to do it, no problem. There's others that won't be able to do it, much like me. And if you find it I don't want to call it a challenge. If you find it uncomfortable, then there's something there for you to learn about and to heal. Yeah. And that's good. That's all good. Because it's the more healing that we can do, the more we can hold that vibration and that higher frequency for longer periods of time. Because why? Because we're in our hearts more often. More often. And we're happier, and we're happier. Mary says, I don't like to look at myself in the mirror at all. Yeah. Mary, has it always been that way? Or was there a change in your life that occurred? That's, I'm curious because for some, it could be a part of the aging process, not being comfortable with how you look differently than what you look like when you were 18. And for others, that self-image and that self-acceptance, that self-love lies at the root of that. And it is uncomfortable. There's an exercise that we do, and when I was teaching Awakening an Illuminated Heart, and I'm sure that you guys have done this exercise before in other groups, but it's called, it's part of the Sufi dance, if I remember right, and we're supposed to do it with partners. But when you're teaching groups, you don't always have a even number of people. Sometimes you have an odd number. And how to do this exercise when you're supposed to have an even number of people. So what I did is I jerry rigged a full length mirror on to be able to stand up, right? And every student gets a turn with the mirror with themselves, and they have to look themselves in the eyes, past their personality, past the to-do list for the day, and to be able to gaze into your own eyes for a certain amount of time. And then there's a song that we sing to each other, and I'll see if I can remember it. Something like my heart is safe with you. My heart is safe with you. That's just part of it. And we continue to look into our partner's eyes or your own eyes if you're in the mirror, right? And it's a timed situation, but you're spending enough time and gazing in each other's eyes that you can literally see the face morphing, right? And the recognition of, oh, you were so and so in one of my past lives, or the connection that you've had in other parallel lives. And then at the very end, when the exercise is over for that round, you have to hug your partner, heart to heart hug, right? And the people with the mirror had to hug themselves and really mean it, a meaningful hug. More often than not, it was the use of the mirror that brought the most tears, that brought the most insight, and also brought the group closer together, because then whenever we did the sharing afterwards, everybody talked about their time with themselves and with the mirror. And so, so I know how uncomfortable it is. I mean, in order to teach those classes, I had to go through the class. I think it was 5 or 6 times. So it can be uncomfortable. And Mary says, not always. I think it's aging. Yeah, and I can understand that. Look at the gray hair. I can understand that. Yeah, it's about seeing ourselves differently than what we feel like. When we don't look in the mirror and not have to look at the aging process, where we are in that, our minds tell us that we're X years old. In my mind, I'm always 33 or 34 instead of 58, right? And so, yeah, I can understand that, Mary, definitely. Julie says, I haven't been able to do mirror work such as that. Yeah. Julie, when you say you haven't been able to, do you mean that you haven't had the opportunity in a class to do that, or that you've had the opportunity and can't, and it's just really too painful to do that eye gaze with yourself? So we were talking about being a child, a divine child, right? Kyle goes on to say that you've had challenges with your mother or with being a mother yourself. Know that the energies of mother healing are with you to help you clear the ancestral blockages that are preventing you from making the sacred love connection. You're being guided to make choices that are based on love. I like that last sentence. You're being guided to make choices based on love. Yeah. Okay. Mary is saying it's sad. We should live how we look as we age. Yeah. And we should love, she meant. That's true. That's really true. Because, when we do this exercise in this class, what I noticed is that I have to spend a little bit more time in the prepping, is a little bit more time in, seeing past the personality, past the mundane, especially if the two people know each other quite well, like, they're friends that came together, or their family. I've had mothers and daughters in the same class. I've had fathers and daughters and mothers and sons and aunts and nephews and nieces all in the same class. And so when we're doing this particular exercise, I notice that I have to spend a little bit more time on getting past the personality. And so that they're really looking at the soul, or sensing the soul of the other person. And when you're doing the mirror work, the same thing is that there's a little bit more time that's needed to get past the personality. A little bit more time for the females. Why? Is because we start fixing our hair, adjusting our clothes, doing the eye wipe underneath the eyes for the makeup, getting a little bit closer, looking at the wrinkles, that kind of thing. So it has a couple of extra seconds to work through that, to get past that initial thing. And then getting past the personality. And then the personality is also the age piece too. It is. And to be able to look into your eyes and to see yourself as that spirit, that divine child of light. Yeah, it does take a little time to get past the personality. It does. And Julie saying it's too uncomfortable. Yeah, run the other way from mirror work. And think about that. Think about that just a little bit, Julie, because we talk about being the mirror for other people, that we reflect certain things, right? And so when you're doing the mirror work, what are we reflecting back to ourselves? I know. It's like, do I really want to look at that? And the answer is yes, you do. You do want to look at it. Because in that moment of being brave to look at yourself and to look into your own eyes, in that moment is an explosion of soul growth. Yeah. I always have lots of Kleenexes on. Julie goes, I know. I always have a boxes of Kleenexes available when we do that particular exercise. Yeah. And really that class is all about opening your heart. And so that's about all of that practice. That actually is all about self-acceptance and acceptance of others, and to actually see the soul and to get past the personality, right? That humanness. That last line here is that you're being guided to make choices that are based on love. Grandmother Earth, or Earth Mother. Here's that picture again. I would venture to even say that as much as we can love Grandmother Earth, and looking at the people who are in the chat, I know that you guys love her, dearly love her. And all the relatives that go along with it, the four-leggeds, right? Those who fly, all of our relatives, the trees and the stones, especially the stones. I know that we have an immense love for her. And when we send her our love, she always returns it. We just have to focus on it, turn our attention to it, to sense it, feel it, see it. Some people actually see it as a color. That when she returns the love, in the unity breath especially, is that they actually see it as a color. So as much as we love her, is the capacity to love ourselves. And that's not, okay, we can think about that in an intellectual way, yes. But it's not theory. It's not theory. It's an experience. So when you send her your love for her down to her core, and you sense her love coming to you, filling you up and surrounding you, right? That capacity that you love her is the same amount that's available to love yourself as that divine child. What do you think of that? Better yet, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Oh, there we go. Earth Mother, Grandmother Earth. In Potawatomi, she's called Kokmiskikan. Kokmiskikan. That means our Grandmother Earth. Yeah. You want to know what the second card is? It's going to blow your mind. Here we go. High Priest. Intend and create. Look at that card. Yeah, I think that's a falcon, right? The wing. And up at the top, you see the Merkaba, star tetrahedron. A lot of sacred geometry going on there. High priest, intend and create. Intend and create. Yeah. I just found it fascinating that we would have Mother Earth, very, very feminine, right? And then we get the high priest coming in, literally the card jumping out right after that. And so we have a very large male energy too in the high priest. And so it's about balance, huh? Balance of male and female energies, which is the Merkaba, is the balance. You have both male and female energies within the Merkaba, and that energy field, which when you have an activated Merkaba, is around you all the time, impenetrable by energies that are not meant for your highest good. So that doesn't mean that you're not going to experience lower vibrational energies. It just means that when you experience that, you know for a fact, that they're there for you to learn something, that you have to pay attention to it. It's about your soul growth. It's not about necessarily not about somebody trying to hurt you, like a psychic attack or something like that, right? Yeah. If it gets through, that means that you have to take a look at it. There's something in there for you to learn. That's a whole class in itself. All right, so the message here is recognize that you have the power to change your life. You have the power to change your life. Face your fear and align with the light. And here we go again. When I read this information this morning, I was thinking, okay, so we're back to the creation, the manifestation that you did for your own life, grounding it to the earth plane, using your gifts to do that. Everything that we've talked about in the last, 2 weeks? Almost 3? Here we are again. Getting reminded that we have the power to change our own life. And that when we face your fear and align with the light. In other words, work in your creation, your manifestation, seeing it all the way through to the final goal, where you're learning so much along the way. It's all about your soul growth. It goes on to say that in many traditions, the high priest is the physical embodiment of the divine masculine. He acts as a bridge between worlds and is able not only to divine the future, but to help create it too. He may be a leader in the spiritual tradition or in pagan traditions, be second to the high priestess, but he is always spiritually connected and disciplined with great respect for his creator and his particular practice. In a reading, this card can represent a spiritual figure, leader, or teacher in your life, or an aspect of your path that has led you to where you are today. Michelle says, I don't know what I want to change in my life. Well, chances are, Rochelle, the cards that we've been getting is that you had a desire to change something, to create something that was going to change your life, even if it was subtle. And the way the cards have been coming is that it's actually here. Whatever it is that you created is here. And now it's about grounding it to the earth plane, but it's also about getting that outline or that strategy in place so that you define by your success how you achieve your goal. right? And so we were saying that it could be so subtle, especially in the very early stages of the change or the shift for you, that that the I just saw a Dalmatian walk by. Hopefully, their two-legged is right behind them. Um, is that they're so subtle, like sometimes we don't realize that they're there, right? So if you're looking for like huge, big change in your life, that might not be the case. It might be something that's more subtle that you requested, and it's here. It could be many smaller changes that lead to a lot the bigger change, right? Incremental is what I'm hearing. Incremental. Yeah, there's very few people that I know that can actually handle and deal with an immense change in their life. Because in itself, just a change is going to throw everything that you have in your daily life out of sync. You know, what's the new normal? Very few people can take that amount of change, that large of a change, in a small span of time, Earth time. You actually want it to be subtle and incremental, so that you can actually, reach those milestones and say, this is what this means for me. This is the change this part of the change that I was wanting and looking for. Yeah. It's kind of like wanting to have your healing, whatever it is that you want healed, to be done immediately. Immediately. Don't want to go through all of the gyration of the changes. I just want it done now. It can be done like that. It can. But be prepared. Be prepared for the earthquakes and tsunamis in your life. Because with the change, everything has to shift. There's so much shifting in all of your bodies. The mental, the physical, the spiritual, and the emotional. It all has to shift. And if you want it done now, then be prepared. Because it can happen, but be prepared. Yeah. I don't know. I would prefer not molasses slow in January, but a little bit. That's why I always put in there with grace and ease. With grace and ease. That I have time to enjoy it and to have the time to really feel and sense about it, rather than having everything happen all at once. Then you're left with the integration and trying to figure out what came first, the chicken or the egg. Right? I don't know if you get, obviously I have experienced that at least once in my life. And that's why I know I would rather not have to do it that way again. Our society, especially in the West here, it's like we want everything as a drive up or a drive through, ease and quick, fast. Even if we have to wait in line at the drive through, we don't want to wait in the line for the drive through either. When we want it, we want it, and we want it now, and we want it the way we want it. Is that right? That's a typical two-legged human. Yeah. So Rachelle's saying, yes, want my surgery now, not 1 month from now. So you have a month to prepare. You have a month to get your life in order, so that when you come home from your surgery, you have the support in place. You have a whole month to get prepared for it, but you want it now. So would you have everything in place that you need at home if it was happening today? or tonight? Question, I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. All right. So it also says that you are a bridge between heaven and earth. And it's important for you to know that you are more powerful and connected than you may think. I like that sentence. I'm going to say it again. You are a bridge between heaven and earth, and it's important for you to know that you are more powerful and connected than you may think. Everything you are giving attention and energy to at this time is creating your way forward. There have been some setbacks, but accept these as experiences that have led you to a deeper understanding of yourself and your spirit. Know that you're being guided by the ancestors to direct your thoughts and energies towards what you want to grow, heal, and expand, and then watch it happen right before your eyes. See, I really do believe that this is about that manifestation, that creation, that change or that shift that we've been hearing and feeling about for weeks, maybe even months. I was just thinking about little things like Mary, you shared on Facebook not too long ago, and I saw the post, and I was going, "Yay!" That you got your new hearing aids. You know, that's a huge shift. That's a huge change, right? Yeah, and you have them, and but you're working with them. I'm sure that there was an adjustment that you had to make with them. And then now it's opening up. Talk about expansive. It's opening up the whole world to you. And so where do you want to place your energy? What do you want to create and grow? Rochelle says, no, silly. Of course she doesn't have things in place. Julie's saying, I just had to share on my page. Oh, thank you, Julie. That's very nice of you. I appreciate that. And Cindy Ferris just joined us. Hey, Cindy. It's good to see you in the chat. Julie says, I like what you said about want to happening now. Be ready for earthquakes and tsunamis. Yeah, that's true. You know, we are truly, truly powerful creators. Whether you believe it or not, you have it in you. You got the mots to do it. Most times it's self-doubt that steps in the way. But you have the power to do it. You're a great manifester. And so when you want something to change, when you want to heal something and you want it now, in this moment, you could do that. You could do that. Yeah. But like I said, like Julie just wrote, you know, be ready for the earthquakes and the tsunamis because everything is going to change. Everything has to change. And as quickly as you want to change, it has to be done that way in order for it to be complete and to clear away all of the interferences and debris and all of that to make room for this new energy. Yeah. Julie says, I did experience that in the spring. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And Mary's saying, yes, an adjustment, but how nice to hear more. I know. You know, my mom, she's so funny sometimes because she has double hearing aids, right? She goes, you know, when you want me to hear something, I don't hear it. But when I'm not supposed to hear something that someone says, I hear it like clear as a bell. And and so we talked about that once a long time ago. It has to do with focus. I said, because those of us with good hearing, we do the same thing. Stuff we don't want to hear about, it's called selective hearing. We're not going to hear it. We're not going to pay attention to it. But something that we turn our focus to, we hear pretty darn clear. Yeah. Just ask my husband. When he talks about football, when he talks about hunting, it's like, okay, yep, Sure. And then he'll say something days later. He goes, "You weren't paying attention to me, were you?" And I said, "No, I wasn't. Apologies, but you lost me at the technical terms in football kind of thing." Uh, so this card, this card, the High Priest card, literally tells us that we are very powerful beings, that we can manifest, that we can create. And as soon as we intend it, we turn our focus, we turn our whole being to it. In other words, it's your mind and your heart and your emotions, right? You pray for it, your spirit, your spiritual self. When all of our bodies are involved into the creation, when we intend it, we create it. That's why we have to be very aware of what we wish for and what we intend, because we can create it. And these days, I don't know about you guys, but these days it does not take long for that creation to come into being. And when I say that, it's both positive and negative creations. They come very quickly these days. And I've been using the same example for the last week. With George, he can go to puppy school up until he's 6 months old. And then after that, it's not available to him anymore. And I want to make sure that he still has playtime and time with other four-leggeds and that sort of thing. And to help us with some of the training, right? Because he's a really bright little boy, and trying to stay at least one step ahead of him, right? And so Paul and I were talking about it, and I was naming off all the things that I really wanted to have in the next phase for George. And safe, fun, the place, certified trainers, close, affordable, the whole thing. We're just talking about it, dreaming about it. And 2 days later, Paul hears from a coworker at work and saying, "Did you hear about this new business? It's been here for like 2 or 3 years. It's called King's Creations, or King's Creatures." That says King's Creatures. And it's like, no, we didn't hear about that. We looked them up online. It's like, holy cow. It's like most of everything that we talked about is on their website. 2 days. 2 days. So, we really have to be aware and conscious of what we create, right? Because we're going to get it no matter what. I want the good ones. Oh, that's too bad. Cindy's saying having trouble not getting the stream. Oh, shoot. Well, try refreshing. That's been helping people, because there's been a couple other people who had some issues with the live stream too. And so what they did, Cindy, is they refreshed. I think it was Stephanie that said that she was having the most problem with it. I'm thinking we have solar flares going on or something. And Julie's saying, this is a great reading ahead of the Unity Breath meditation tonight. I know, right? It's like Spirit really wanted me to talk about this. She says, I will join the archive tonight to have an appointment. Okay, that's perfect. That's why we have the recorded shows, right? Julie says, my springtime creation, 4 days. Yeah, she's saying puppy school. Yeah, it's actually attached to the vet that we go to. It's called Club Vet, I think that's what it's called. But the staff are the ones that are actually taking care of the puppies. So they're getting used to being at the vet's building. They know all the inside of the building, the different rooms and the different sounds, and they get to play with other puppies. They have 3 play areas. The one big one It tends to get kind of muddy back there, and that's their favorite one. And they bathe the puppies when they get really dirty to send them home. George has had a bath every single time. Um, and they get them used to, like getting their nails clipped and that sort of thing. So it really is a good thing. It really is. And we're both going to miss it when 6 months comes around and he's not able to go there. So yeah, puppy school. Okay, Rochelle, she says, I gotta go. Namaste. To you too. Oh, it's already top of the hour. Yeah, and it is an awesome idea. All right, so the two cards that we got today, Mother Earth and High Priest, the balance of the male-female energies, right? The balance. And I really do believe that it has to do with our manifesting ability and whatever it is that you manifested recently. That we, Mother Earth, Grandmother Earth has already given us everything that we need to thrive, and that includes any of the creations that we might create. And the recent one that we've done is included in that. So yeah, so we got a lot of energy behind us, helping us. A lot of good energy. A lot of potent energy. So, like I say every day, right, is if this resonated with you, the information is to pick it up, hold it, embrace it, grab it, use it, and see how your day has unfolded and where this information kind of fits in for you. Sometimes we're directly involved in the flow of the energy, and other times what we are we're witnessing it. And either way, it's good because we're learning in both directions, right? That's what I think anyway. And if it didn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. No worries. It wasn't meant for you. Maybe tomorrow will be meant for you. And I always say that maybe you're a messenger, right? That maybe you know somebody that would enjoy the conversation or was looking for certain information that was shared here today. And you can always share the link with them and be the messenger, right? Yeah. So this is Terrific Tuesday here at Star Nations Radio Network. Polly Jo kicked it off this afternoon at noon with her show Chakra Sessions, and she was talking about enlightenment, lightening up, literally. And if you didn't get to see that show live, it would be really a strong suggestion that you listen to the archive, because it was talking about releasing and letting go of things that no longer serve us. Yeah. And then, of course, she did a meditation that goes along with that. And then this evening at 8 p.m. Eastern is my weekly show, Communications from Home. And we're going to be doing the guided meditation, Unity Breath. And it's all about love for Grandmother Earth and Grandfather Sky, and raising our frequency to the frequency of love. And yeah, it's always a good one. So join me tonight at 8 p.m. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, October 31st, Halloween, and Samhain, by the way, Polly Jo's back with Soul Connections at 7 p.m. Eastern. And that is all about healing. Light workers, energy workers, so many times we put ourselves on the bottom of the list of healing work. We're in service to other people more often, and when it comes to our own healing, a lot of times it has to come to a crisis situation before we actually do the healing work, because we've been putting ourselves last. Well, Polly Jo has this weekly show, and it really is a space for us, a sacred space for us to bring our intentions of whatever it is we want to heal or release, and to work with our own spiritual teams. And what she does is she creates the sacred space, and with her and her spiritual team, they assist us in releasing and healing. So join us. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's an hour and a half. She does the healing meditation first, Yeah. As soon as I started talking about the healing stuff, ear ringing. In the last half hour or so, 45 minutes, depending on how many people are in the chat, she'll do a mini reading card draw for you. So with that, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and we'll see you here tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, for the daily live stream card draw information. Bama Mina, that's Potawatomi for until we see each other again. Love you guys.